Hi there. Since I've been wanting to make a few of these guides, and to honor the new Survivalist that's coming out soon, I present to you a dedicated noob guide in Forsaken. This video is going to be in 3 parts. 1 is a simple tutorial where we show you all of the moves and the best ways to use them. 2 will be some tips and tricks in game. And finally, there's going to be some simple noob gameplay in public lobbies with annotations. Noob is one of 2, soon 3 Survivalists in Forsaken. As a Survivalist, this of course means you will have to sacrifice team play, but unlike the other one, you have actually good survivability. In fact, you have the best in the game, meaning even without team play, you can still be a very strong character if you play your cards right. And I'm going to show you how to do just that. Up first, we have Bloxy Cola, your best move, your main move, and probably your most complicated. Not to be confused with the colas that spawn around maps. Those work a little differently. Upon use, you take about a 3-second wind up sipping your cola before getting speed 1 for 10 seconds. This sounds good on paper, but 3 seconds for one move does seem like a lot. So when you're using cola, you're going to be focusing on when you can use this move without being punished. Obviously, you'll need a good amount of distance beforehand, but there's 2 main ways you can do this. The first way to land a strong cola is to keep track of the killer's stamina so that by the time you pop the cola, they don't have any sprint to punish you with. If you're good enough at the game, you should already be pretty good at keeping a mental track of the opponent's stamina, and with cola specifically, you can use that to your advantage. So here we have our buddy Slasher, and I'm just going to demonstrate how this is going to work really quick so that you can get an idea of this. So as the Slasher is chasing me, what I'm thinking about is his general stamina bar, so that I can tell when he starts walking and is unable to sprint. And the moment I know that this is true, I immediately pop a cola because I know that he does not have the stamina to catch up and punish me, meaning I will get a free speed boost and I will promptly leave. The second way to get a strong cola off, and probably the easier way, is to abuse the killer's abilities if they have high windup or end lag or both. I'll throw up a list of moves you can do this with, but I'll bring our boy 1x here to showcase. Just like that, I've used his ability to keep him from catching up to me and get the cola off easily. For our next move, we have the Slate Skin. Upon drinking, you get Slate Skin for 6 seconds, it makes you slowed, you can't get hit, yada yada yada. If it ends naturally, you will get Speed 2, but if it ends manually by clicking it again, you will get Speed 1. There are a few other niche ways to use this move, but the main way is when the killer has finally caught up to you and you need to continue stalling. The stalling definitely isn't better than other moves you would use when the killer gets close, like stuns and rush hours, but it's still a pretty decent move for when you're under attack. A good thing to know about Slate Skin is how to easily get out without taking any immediate punish. For example, you never want to use Slate Skin against Slasher unless they have their Behead ability on cooldown. You will almost never get a Speed 2 from Slate Skin naturally wearing off because every killer in the game has some kind of ability to counter you if you stay in it for too long. What usually ends up happening, and should happen, the killer gets too close to you, you pop a Slate Skin, you get out a little bit early, and chase continues. Again, you might still get hit after this happens, especially with faster killers, but with the speed 1 plus the speed on hit, you should be able to make a decent amount of distance afterwards. You could also try canceling Slate Skin as soon as possible the moment you get in, and theoretically the killer should have less stamina to regen while you sit there and therefore will not catch up to you as much. This is something I use, but I haven't actually tested it, so feel free to do so. Our final ability is Ghost Burger. Very straightforward move. Go transparent for a little while. You cannot be detected by ability. There's a bit of a wind up, but you are able to move as fast as you want with this invisibility on. There's a few ways to utilize Ghost Burger. Most common way is to combat aura reads. For example, 1x is a great example of this, since you can hear Unstable Eye from everywhere. So if he uses it, I can immediately use Ghostburger to get out of his aura read and then try to leave the area. This method also does work for LMS's highlight, however it's only for the first ever one. Any aura reading abilities that happen during an LMS are aura reads you cannot hide from with undetectable. Another way is to use the invisibility of the Ghost Burger. If you have enough corners or dark spots, what you can do is either hide in one place or start cutting corners, and with enough distance this should be able to entirely dismiss a chase. This is usually done to stop a chase from engaging in the first place, but sometimes this can even happen in chase, and the way this can happen is through cola. If you manage to get a cola off, you can run to a corner or a place with a lot of corners and then use that distance you got from the cola to pop a ghost burger and cut corners. If you have any cliffs, you can also use a cola and then drop down so the killer won't be able to M1 you and you get free distance. If you use slate skin and the killer starts mindlessly M1ing you like this, what you can do is immediately cancel it once they hit you so that you will get the speed 1 and the speed on hit to make distance. With the mechanic of slate skin's double health bar taking hits for you, for one, you can use it to sandbag without repercussions. Sandbagging is when you push yourself against a killer while they're pathing tight corners, so that the teammate the killer is prioritizing will get slightly less distance. If the killer is Cool Kid, Slate Skin can also be used to tank the minions for free and completely take them out of the game. Unless the Cool Kid has tunnel vision, make sure not to do this while next to the Cool Kid. This is because the minions will still give you slowness and for about 2 seconds, so a good Cool Kid will see this and then combo it with the corrupt nature, giving you more slowness and ensuring that your entire slate skin duration will be you under slowness, and that once you get out, Cool Kid will get a free punish. Of course, you can also block attacks for your teammates. However, this is only in very certain circumstances. Since you're slow, if you just try to block something like an M1, the killer would just brush past you. Undetectable can also stop minions from chasing you, meaning if you get chased by them, you can use Ghost Burger to hide from them and stop them from chasing you. If it's 1x in particular, you can also bundle up all zombies and then lure them all into one spot, rendering all of the minions nigh unusable for the 1x in the LMS. Although Noob still has the best survivability in the game, you still want to be very careful when it comes to getting a chase. This is because while other high chase potential characters like Shadletsky have moves that wait for the killer to get close and then resets the distance, Noob's chase potential works by prolonging distance for as long as possible. This means that if a killer finally catches up to you or sneaks up to you and makes you start the chase with low distance, you're gonna be in a bit of trouble, so try not to let that happen. Your best matchups will be against 1x and especially though. For 1x, he's the slowest killer in the game, meaning if you stamina trap him to get a cola off, the timing will be easier. Plus, mass infections and lag can be abused. And if you get hit by an entanglement whilst popping a cola, there's a mechanic where the speed 1 will override the slowness, meaning you basically lose nothing. Plus, he's the easiest character to Ghost Burger, since Unstabilized not only a global sound, but it makes the block. Plus, he has minions that you can lure to a corner with Ghost Burger, like I said earlier. John Doe is also pretty slow, also has a very high and lag move being Corrupt Energy, but even if you get hit by Corrupt Energy, your Cola speed 1 lasts longer than John Doe's speed 1. If you ever get spike trapped, you can also use Slate Skin Potion to stall a little bit, so that you're punished less for getting trapped. Plus, he also does have a pretty easy spot Orby. Cool Kid and Noli are your normal matchups, and this is because they don't have any common high wind-up / high and lag moves that you can abuse to Cola. Finally, Slasher is going to be your biggest op. Well, kinda. I would say it's almost neutral because the way Slasher and Noob counter each other is kind of like a tug of war. On Slasher's hand, stamina tracking colas will be the hardest to do against him, and if he has big head off cooldown, Slate Skin is not usable. But on Noob's hand, Slasher suffers the worst out of any killer from a cola since he has no ranged abilities, and Raging Pace can somewhat be abused for a free cola if you know how to stamina manage correctly. So I'd say it's still pretty much neutral, but Slasher is definitely still a big threat that you should watch out for. And that should be all of it. Now that you know how they work and how to play them, It's finally time to get to some gameplay. But let me get something straight first. What I'll usually do for this is just clip a bunch of full rounds that I play with Noob to show you how he works, but the only problem with that is Noob's out of chase game, because it's honestly very simple. The only thing you really need to worry about is going about doing generators to speed up the time. Instead of that, I am going to go through a bunch of rounds that I have won where I was in chase for a good amount of time during that round. This should give you a better, more watchable understanding of how they work. So then, I will see you there.
It's raining.